just run across, Susan, to inquire how Miss Livy does now.
She is very poorly, Mary.
I am very unhappy of that. I conceive it to be a nervous disorder.
Accompanied by tremblings, flutterings, and spasms.
The excitements of the ball. You have summoned the apothecary at last, I trust, Phoebe?
It is Livy's stone wish that he should not be consulted.
May I go in to see her?
I fear not, Mary. She is asleep, and it is best not to disturb her. Lie quite still, Livy, my love. Quite still.
This is a little arrowroot, of which I hope Miss Livy will be so obliging as to partake.
I thank you, Mary.
Susan,
I will take it to her while it is still warm.
Phoebe, has Captain Brown been apprised of Miss Livy's illness?
I think not, Miss Willoughby.
Is this right, Phoebe? You informed Fanny and Henrietta at the ball of his partiality for Livy. My dear, it is hard for you. But have you any right to keep them apart?
Oh, is that what you think I'm doing, Miss Willoughby?
Such a mysterious illness. Long ago, Phoebe, I once caused much unhappiness through foolish jealousy. That is why I venture to hope that you will not be as I was, my dear.
I? Jealous of Livy? Oh, Miss Willoughby, you wrong me.
Is she gone?
No, Susan, but I am going.
Mary! Mary! Phoebe, I know this is wrong of me, but Mary's arrowroot is so delicious. Those petticoat tails and the ladies' fingers that those officers brought to Livy, I ate them also. My dear, what is to be done about her? We cannot have her supposed to be here forever.
We had to pretend she was ill to keep her out of sight. And now we cannot say she has gone away. Oh, but Miss Willoughby's window commands our door. And she's always watching.
Oh, I see her watching now. I feel, Phoebe, as though Livy really existed.
We shall never be able to esteem ourselves again.
Phoebe, why not marry him? If only we could make him think that Livy had gone home. Then he need never know.
Susan, you pain me. She who marries without telling all, hers must ever be a false face. They are his own words.
Captain Brown.
I wrote and begged him not to come. Patty, I am sorry. We are out.
Patty, I regret that they are out, but I will await their return. I do not wish to detain you, Patty.
Captain Brown.
Miss Phoebe, I hear Miss Livy is indisposed.
She is very poorly, sir.
But it is not that unpleasant girl I've come to see. It is you.
How do you do?
And I am very happy, ma'am, to find you alone.
How do you do, sir?
Very well, sir, that Susan is here.
Nay, ma'am, excuse me. I heard Miss Susan say she was gone out. Miss Susan is incapable of prevarication.
What am I to do?
Don't go, Susan. 'Tis what he wants.
I have her word that she is not present.
Oh, no.
My faith in Miss Susan is absolute.
Don't, Susan. Oh, Susan, please. Susan, do not go.
You coward, Miss Phoebe. To be afraid of Valentine Brown.
I wrote and begged you not to come.
You implied as a lover, ma'am, but surely always as a friend?
Oh, yes. Yes.
You told Miss Livy that you loved me once. How carefully you hid it from me.
A woman must never tell. You went away to the great battles and I was left to fight the little one.
And you ceased to care for me. Miss Phoebe, I dare not ask you love me again, but I still ask that you put yourself into my keeping. Miss Phoebe, let me take care of you.
It cannot be.
This weary teaching, let me close your school.
Please, sir, I beg you no more. What shall you do now?
I'll become a physician again, with some drab old housekeeper to neglect me and the house. Do you foresee the cobwebs gathering and gathering, Miss Phoebe?
Oh, sir.
You will see me yet on Quality Street, all awry, gradually turning into a grumpy, crusty old bachelor.
Mr. Brown!
And all because you would not walk across the street with me.
Sir, you must marry. And I hope it might be to someone who is like a garden.
I know but one. Miss Phoebe, when did you cease to care for me?
You promised not to ask.
I know not why I should, but I believe you love me still.
You are talking so loudly.
Miss Susan, does she care for me still?
Sir, how could she help it?
Then, Miss Phoebe, you shall marry me, though I have to carry you in my arms to the church. Your servant, Miss Willoughby.
How do you do, sir? And how do you find Miss Livy, sir?
I have not seen her.
Indeed? Not even you?
You seem surprised.
Nay, sir, you must not say so. But really, Phoebe!
Miss Willoughby, you presume.
Ladies, would one of you deign to enlighten me? To begin with, what is Miss Livy's malady?
He does not know? Oh, Phoebe!
Ladies, take pity on a dull man and explain.
Please not to ask me to explain. I fear I've already said more than was proper. Phoebe, forgive.
I understand, sir, that there is a belief that I kept living in confinement because of your passion for her.
My passion for Miss Livy? Why, Miss Willoughby, I cannot abide her, nor her me. Furthermore, I am proud to tell you that this is the lady whom I adore.
Phoebe?
Yes, ma'am.
Phoebe! I am so happy 'tis you. I give you joy.
Phoebe,
Miss Susan, I do not understand. Is it that Miss Livy is an obstacle?
I think I hear Phoebe calling me. A sudden indisposition. Pray, excuse me, Mary.
I know not, sir, whether to offer you my felicitations.
may I ask, ma'am, what you mean by an obstacle? Is there some mystery about Miss Livy?
So much so, sir, that we at one time thought that she and Miss Livy were the same person.
Pshaw!
Why will they admit no physician into her presence? The blinds of her room are kept most artfully drawn. Neither Miss Phoebe nor Miss Susan will present her to me.
Indeed.
How do you find yourself, dear Miss Livy?
I think, ma'am, as a physician,
Is she very poorly, sir? I did not hear you address her.
she was not awake.
It is provoking.
It is not a serious illness, I think, ma'am. With the permission of Miss Phoebe and Miss Susan, I will make myself more acquainted with her disorder presently. Oh, but we must not speak lest we disturb her.
You suggest my retiring, sir?
Yes, Miss Willoughby.
Why have she departed so hurriedly, sir? Oh, she did not go in to see Miss Livy?
No.
Why do you look at me so strangely?
Miss Phoebe, I desire to see Miss Livy.
Impossible.
Why impossible? They tell me such strange stories of no one seeing her. Ma'am, I will not leave this house until I have seen her.
You cannot. Will you excuse me, sir, while I talk to Susan behind the door?
Patty, come here. Why is this trick being played upon me?
Trick, sir? Who would dare?
I know that Miss Phoebe has been Miss Livy all the time.
I give in.
Why has she done this?
'Twas you that began it, all by not knowing her in the white gown.
Why has this deception been kept up so long?
Because you would not see through it. She thought you were infatuated with Miss Livy because she was young and silly.
It is infamous!
'Twas all playful innocence at first. And now she is so feared of you, she is weeping her soul to death. I will not have you call her names. You haven't lost their money for them.
What was that? On the contrary, all the money they have, they owe to my having invested it for them.
That is the money they lost.
You're sure of that?
I can swear to it.
Deceived me about that also. But why?
I think she was feared you would offer to her out of pity.
Why not say Miss Livy had gone home? It would save them a world of trouble.
Miss Willoughby watches the house all day. She could not say she had gone, for she did not see her go.
I see.
And Miss Phoebe and Miss Susan wring their hands, for they are feared Miss Livy is bedridden here for all time.
Oh.
I am pleased to inform you, sir, that Livy is much improved.
It is joy for me to hear it.
And she is coming in to see you.
Oh, Mom!
I shall be happy to see the poor invalid.
Oh, Mom!
Go away, Patty. Anon I may claim a service of you, but for the present, go. Retire, woman. Your servant, Miss Livy.
How do you do, sir?
Oh, allow me, Miss Susan.
No, I can walk alone. See, how do you think she is looking?
She will recover. I must say, ma'am, I don't see how anyone could find much resemblance between you and your Aunt Phoebe. Miss Phoebe is decidedly shorter and more thick-set.
Oh, no, I am not.
I said Miss Phoebe, ma'am. But tell me, is not Miss Phoebe to join us?
She is busy airing the room.
Ah, of course.
Captain Brown will excuse you, Phoebe.
Certainly, Miss Susan. I think I could cure her if she was put unreservedly into my hands.
Oh, I am sure you could.
Nay, ma'am. You still require attention? Tell me, Miss Livy, do you propose making a long stay in Quality Street?
Oh, I hope not. It depends.
Home is the place for you, Miss Livy.
Would that I could go.
You are going.
Yes, soon.
Indeed. I have a delightful surprise for you, Miss Livy. You are going today.
Today?
Not just today, but now. As it happens, my carriage stands idle at your door, and I am to take you in it to your home.
You are to take me?
Nay, 'tis no trouble at all. And, as your physician, my mind is quite made up. Some raps for her, Miss Susan.
But I decline to go, sir. I am most determined.
You say yourself you are recovered?
Oh, I am not feeling quite so well now, sir. Aunt Susan.
Sir.
Oh, perhaps if you wish to consult Miss Phoebe.
Oh, no.
Then the raps, Susan.
Auntie, don't leave me.
Reason with her, Miss Susan. And I will ask Miss Phoebe for the raps.
No, sir!
These will do admirably, Miss Susan.
But Phoebe,
If I swathe Miss Livy in these,
Phoebe!
oh, she is still busy airing the room. Come, Miss Livy.
But I...
Wrap these around you. Oh, allow me. This around your shoulders. So. Be so obliging as to lean on me, ma'am. Gently, gently. Be brave, ma'am. My arm is around you. You cannot fall. Oh, that's better, Miss Livy. You are doing famously. Goodbye, Miss Susan. I will take every care of her.
He's gone! Oh, Susan, was he as dreadful as that? Phoebe, he knows all. Yes, of course he knows all now. Oh, what did he say? He said, "Goodbye, Miss Susan." That was almost all he said. Did his eyes flash fire? Phoebe, it was what he did. He took Livy with him. Susan, don't say that. You're not distraught, are you? He did. He wrapped her up in a shawl.
Susan, you are Susan Throstle, my love. You remember me, don't you? Phoebe, your sister. And I was Livy also. You know Livy?
Oh, he took Livy with him. Oh, sister, who am I? You are Phoebe.
And who is Livy?
You were. Oh, thank heavens. But he took her away in a carriage.
Oh dear. Susan, you will be well again soon. We shall occupy our minds. Shall we drop the advertisement for the reopening of the school?
Oh, I do so hate the school.
Come, dear, come. Sit. Right, Susan. The Mrs. Throstles have the pleasure to announce that...
Pleasure! Phoebe, I refuse. There is only one thing I can write. It writes itself in my head all day. Miss Susan Throstle presents her compliments to Miss Willoughby and requests the honor of her presence at the nuptials of her sister Phoebe and Captain Valentine Brown. Susan! Phoebe! He has returned! Susan, I am so alarmed! I will face him, nay, if it must be, I will.
Miss Livy will never bother you again, Miss Susan. I have sent her home.
Oh, sir, how could you invent such a story for us?
I didn't. I invented it for Miss Willoughby, who from her window watched me put Miss Livy into my carriage. Patty accompanies her, and in a few hours, Patty will return alone.
Susan, he has gotten rid of Livy.
Dear Phoebe Throstle, will you be Phoebe Brown?
You know everything, sir, and that I am not a garden.
I know everything, ma'am, except for that.
Sir, the dictates of my heart enjoin me to accept your two graces of